Okay, here we have the setup for one of the garden beds, and they are all identical throughout the garden. If you want to set yours up differently than this, that's fine, but this is what the club has already provided at no cost to the gardeners. So here we have the timer. This is a filter to help filter out particulates that exist in our water naturally, because this is lake water. And then this is an adapter that adapts the poly tubing to a threaded system so that it hooks up to the rest of the hose bib. This particular timer does not have a battery in it. If you need to change the battery, this is where you would do so. It requires a 9-volt battery, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the battery now. Okay, so I've installed the battery and put the plate back on. So now we're looking at it, and it goes to just a very, it's just restarted itself at 12 a.m. on a Monday morning. So here we see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you see any blocks under there, that tells you that it's selected. So right now we're going to change the time. Okay. So first we're going to change the hour, and it is roughly 2:30, so it won't be perfect, but it'll be close. So 2. And when I'm done with the hour, I'm going to use the arrow to select the minutes. We're just going to go ahead and say 2:30, even though I know that's not quite right. What time is it? Oh, it's 2:26, so that's pretty close. I'm pushing the plus button to make that adjustment. Okay, so then now I'm up on the days, so I'm going to change the day. Today is Tuesday. Okay, and when I'm done selecting that, I'm going to push that arrow again, and now the time is all set up to the correct date and time. Now, if you need to just run water manually, you could just push the on button, and you can select the time, and in this instance it's already selected 10 minutes, but if you wanted to do that, so that just manually turns on the timer, turns on the water system for that period of time, just at that one moment. And that does not impact any of your settings. Okay, I don't want that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to set the timer. So we're going to go to mode. Okay, so the timer, we're going to say the water is going to be on. Oops. Whoa. Right now it's set for the water to run for 10 minutes. Let's just go ahead and set it for 20 minutes. Okay, we're going to move that. Okay, so 20 minutes in the mode. Right now it will go off for 20 minutes every single day of the week, and I don't think I want that, so we're going to select, let's say every other day. So it'll turn on Monday. I'm turning off Tuesday. See how it's not selected anymore? I pushed the minus button. I'm going to scroll over with the arrow to Wednesday. We're going to leave that on. Scroll over with the arrow to Thursday. I'm going to turn that off with the minus button. I'm going to leave Friday on, so I'm going to scroll through that. I'm going to turn off Saturday, and we're going to leave Sunday on. So we've got 4 days of the week. I'm going to use the arrow to scroll through. Okay, now so we've done this. I'm switching to our mode. So now when is it going to start? So you have the option to have 3 different start times. So we're going to do a morning start time. So on these days, the water will go off, let's say at 6 a.m. We'll say 6:15. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm using the arrow to select through the next mode, and I'm using the plus and minus buttons to adjust the setting. So we'll say 6:15 in the morning. Every morning will be the first start time, and it will run for 20 minutes. Now I'm done with that. I'm going to move on to the next start time. So do I want another start time? Sure. Let's water the beds twice a day for those 4 days. So I'm going to use the arrow. Oh wait. There we go. So now it's on. So we're going to do, said 6 in the morning for the last one. Let's do 6 at night. Oops. There we go. There it is. 6:15 at night for the next time. Okay, I'm going to scroll through. Okay, so I'm good. The third start time is off. We don't need it to go off 3 times a day right now. Oh, you have 4 different start times. That's good. So now this particular system is all set up to run Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 6:15 a.m. and 6:15 p.m. for 20 minutes. And that is how you would make those adjustments. That's it. All right, so now we're going to talk about how you actually run line to the plants. And I'm just going to do one as an example, and then the rest will be up to the owner of this bed. So we have this box, and you can always find this in the storage closet. Storage closet is a little bit of a mess right now, but we have this, so you just have to find it. It's usually on one of the bottom shelves of the big sturdy cabinet. So this right here is our drip line, and about every 6 inches is a pressurized emitter. So this is pressurized. You see where it's like kind of fat right here and then it's thin here? You do not cut where the emitters are. Cut around them. And don't try to poke your own holes, because these are actually built in and they are pressurized. Poking your own holes would depressurize the system. So I'm going to take a little bit of line and I'm going to cut here in between the 2 emitters. There's one emitter right there. See how it's a little bit fatter? And then here's another emitter right here. So we have these purple gizmos, and we're just calling them gizmos. I don't really know what the real name is. And there's a blade here. You see that? The blade. So I'm going to take this and cut. Okay? So I've got a little bit of a system here. And then what you need is the couplers. So we have them. They are barbed. Oh no, I lie. These ones are not barbed. Okay, so you take them. Oh gosh, this is just terrible, terrible, terrible videography happening right here. But you take it and you squish it in there. It's much easier to do wearing gloves. And then you have this part set up, and so the next piece you actually have to insert into the poly tubing. So the way we do that is because this is not barbed, it does not create its own holes. So our gizmo that I showed you earlier that has a blade also has a poker. You see this black thing right here? That will pierce your poly tubing. So we're going to use this to pierce a hole in the poly tubing. And I apologize for the quality of this. I'm filming this on my phone. So we take this, wrap it around here, and then I squeeze. You hear that click? It pierced it. Okay, so now we have a hole, and now we have this coupling. We can insert it in here, and you will hear a little click once it's in all the way. So now you have a line of drip, and this one doesn't have an end, and you do need to have some kind of end. So in most of the beds, they've done their lines where they've pierced one side and run it all the way through and pierced the other side, so it's connected from end to end. You see that other line of tubing over there? So they've connected it from end to end in just a long line, and some people go this way, long ways, and some people are going short ways, and some people have done both. It's really your call. Now in some of the specialty beds, they've used little bits of line and just kind of wrapped them around where their plants are, because their beds are more built for the aesthetic. For example, this bed here, this is our Serenity bed. Here she has them kind of going in a circle around her plants and connecting back down. So she's sort of working with her landscape, and I suspect that with this bed that will have to be the case as well. If you make a mistake, don't worry, that can be fixed. We have Goof Plugs. We have them. I don't have them here, but they are in the closet, so I'll make sure those are available. They look very much like these. The difference is they are not two-ended. So they have one end to fit inside of the poly tube, and then it just goes to nothing. It's just a cap. That's all it is. So if you make a mistake and you don't like what you've done here, you can pull this out. It is a little difficult, but it can be done. And you put the goof plug in its place, just all by itself. And then if you have a line that leads to nowhere, that's not connected to another side somewhere, you take those goof plugs and you stick them in the end, and that pressurizes the line so that your line doesn't have a bunch of water flying out at the other end. And that's it.